of breeding, a fat, table-dressed, quick frozen. Be put on your table when you want it, 365 days a year. Not just at Thanksgiving and Christmas, but in June or July, April and May. And news too, good news, that now there's a turkey for every size family. 12 to 25 pounders for large families. And the Mary Gifford Kitchen wanted to make sure that the information was made available to every homemaker. So we prepared to send out a special service bulletin on the newest and round-the-year ways to buy and serve turkey. One of the big headlines is that today, instead of the long-established way of getting a turkey, only partially oven-ready, in the style known as New York breast, you can buy a turkey that is completely and immediately ready for stuffing and roasting. That's the modern, quick-frozen, table-dressed turkey. And the other headliners are the new Beltsville turkeys, weighing only 5 to 10 pounds, meal size, small family size, a new breed, especially developed by the United States Department of Agriculture experiment station at Beltsville, Maryland. Specially selected birds as our own frozen in. The larger ones labeled as to the exact kind of bird, hen or tom. Exact weight shown on every bird. Table dressed, ready for the oven, ready at their peak of flavor perfection any time in the year. That is new. To compare costs between a New York dressed and one of these table dressed turkeys, a New York dressed turkey was weighed as it is sold at the market, with head and feet on, this and in. This is the weight you pay for in such turkeys. This is what you have left to cook. Here are the discarded parts. The turkey has lost nearly 1/5 of its original weight. When you buy a convenient table-dressed bird at the same weight, you pay only for the meat you can eat. As you can see here. So with a fine value story to feature, into our bulletin will notes on how to get quick-frozen table-dressed turkeys, treatment worthy of their fine quality. First, how to defrost. If you have plenty of time, let defrost gradually in your refrigerator in the regular food compartment. Allow 24 hours at least. Or if you're in a hurry, put it under cool running water for 1 to 3 hours. When just pliable, the meat can be moved. Turkey is ready. And once defrosted, don't refrost. Turkey is a delicate food. Thaw and cook and eat. Now, defrosted and flavor fresh, the turkey is ready for the finest dressing, piglet dressing. First, remove the parchment wrap packaging of chicken. Place in salted water sufficient to cover. From net packaging. And simmer 1 hour. Chop giblets fine for the dressing, and save the broth for both dressing and gravy. And here are the ingredients for a magnificently flavorful stuffing. This quantity will be right for a 12-pound bird. A 6-pound meal-sized bird would use just half as much. 3 quarts of bread cubes are toasted. The toasting really adds flavor. bread cubes. Pour a mixture made by browning lightly. 3/4 cup of chopped celery and 3/4 cup of onion in 3/4 cup of butter or margarine. Then add 1 tablespoon of chopped parsley, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, 3/4 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, the giblet, and 1 1/2 cup of the rich giblet broth. Note accession. This should moisten only lightly, since the dressing draws moisture from the turkey itself and could become too soggy if too much liquid is added. And now, the news on how to stuff has begun. After rubbing the inside of the bird with 1 teaspoon of salt, stuff the neck cavity first. Pull the wings close against the body. Pull the neck skin back over the wing tip and skewer thus. Stuff the body lightly. The stuffing is going to swell, so give it room. Put 2 or 3 toothpicks of skewers across the opening. Then lace with a cord the way a boot is made. Cross the end. Wind around the leg. And draw the legs close together. Tie securely to the tail. For actual roasting, the very best way is to put the bird breast down in a V-shaped roaster rack. Thus the sweet fat from the back can melt and run juicily down through the breast. Brush all over with melted fat. Halfway through the roasting, turn breast up. And there you are. Turkey is prepared exactly the same way, whether this meal-sized Shropshire or the larger bird. Here's a special news tip. When the roasting time is given as so much per pound, this means so much stuffed weight. For an easy way to figure stuffed weight, just add approximately 1/4 to the weight shown on the wrapper of your table-dressed turkey. Say the bird weighs 13 pounds. Add 1/4 its weight for stuffing, 3 1/4 pounds. This adds up to 16 1/4 pounds stuffed weight. Figure roasting time for this weight. It's all here on the chart. A 16-pound bird like this, 15 to 17 minutes per pound, double chicken, buttered green beans, mashed potatoes, a crisp salad. The turkey down at the oven. A meal-sized belt bill, 5 to 7 pounds. Just right for a family of 4 to 5. There it is, eating ready. The family's just as ready. And there's that bird. A delicacy to feature to make any meal festive, or fluff dish, for picnic or any neighborhood social. A dish that fits perfectly. Turkey rice casserole. Cube about 6 cups of the meat of a cold of chopped onion. Cook until the rice is soft, but not mushy. Then add 1/4 cup of green pepper, 1/4 cup of chopped pimento, 1½ to 2 teaspoons of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and the cubed turkey. Put it in a casserole. Edge with 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, mixed with 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Bake 1 hour in a 350-degree oven. The distinctive flavor is good, rich spice of turkey, combined with all the flavors of the sauce. Mixed with a simple sauce, thickly composite, a dish that is new, that makes new. And now June, and here comes the bride. And here's a wedding today as beautiful as beautiful, of the same ground I wedding cake, and the perfect occasion salad, turkey almond salad. For sample size proportions, cube 2 cups of whole turkey. Add half this quantity, 1 cup, of fine red grapes, steamed. 1 cup delicately thin slices of green celery. And sprinkle with crisply toasted almonds. Just enough dressing to moisten. Turkey with fruit and celery, and with the almonds, a dish to remember. Here, we heap it in a bowl lined with spring fresh lettuce. It must then be kept well chilled until ready to serve. Before serving, sprinkle with almonds. Or for the wedding buffet, put in individual lettuce cups. Shine up your prettiest silver tray and serve to make a memorable addition to a memorable day. So here's to them. May their home be graced with many a fine turkey dinner together. July and August, summer out of doors, the hot months of the year, months that allow us to sit in the hot hours of the day, to eat in the cool breeze day, out in the patio, under the trees. Now the cold roast turkey stars. A fine, plump-breasted turkey to be cooked in the cool of the day, served in good, generous slices, with sweet, fresh corn, sliced tomatoes, and a coolly refreshing salad bowl. A new life for the cook, new life for sweet and exhausted appetite. By the way, no need to stuff if you're serving the turkey cold. Unstuffed, allow less time too. Only 10 to 12 minutes per pound. And cold turkey is good to keep ready in the refrigerator at any time. In the same way you can have ever ready that other guest insurance, a cold ham. extra meal slipped in for turkey eaters only. Fine roast turkey ready in the refrigerator. That's eating. That's living. Time for an impromptu father and son banquet on the side. A chance to get together, to share a mutual taste. Spread over biscuit dough, not quite to the edge. Roll as for a jelly roll, gently. Even at the end. Cut in 1 1/2 inch slices. Place on a cookie sheet. Over this, serve your favorite mushroom sauce. Mouth-watering, filling, for another meal of life. And so, with the table-dressed, quick frozen turkeys available 365 days in the year, that holiday bird has become your turkey any day in the week. For in any size home, at any time of the year, Sunday or Monday, June or January, dinner or snack, there's a turkey ready and waiting for any occasion. Meal size, banquet size, for you. And now for that time of the year when turkeys are traditionally served, Thanksgiving or Christmas. Once upon a time, the only time people served turkey. Always popular, so put in your order early. A golden brown, plump and juicy bird is the best of American tradition. The family headliner as it comes to the table in all its glory. Turkey, a dish that has grace to every table. A dish to be thankful for.
But like any battle, victory in this conflict is finally won or lost on the front line. With literally millions of dollars at stake, success is measured in pennies. The checker plays a key role in this daily struggle. Methods of handling groceries and customers may vary from store to store, but the basic objectives are the same. Check the customer's purchases accurately, ring them up correctly, and collect the money for the store. And the store must work. Probably no job in a supermarket restores success more than that of a checker. Her every action reflects the store and its entire staff. She is a shopper's last and often only personal contact with the store. For the customer, the checker is very important. Her responsibility is great and growing. But with all of them, one of the checker's primary obligations is to keep the traffic moving. Sometimes the checkout lane begins to resemble a crowded thoroughfare. When jam-ups form, they're hard to get rid of. And the analogy goes much deeper. The colors of traffic control, red, yellow, and green, have a real relationship with Ruth Bussey, the B&B supermarkets in Tampa, Florida. A checker for 10 years now, Ruth was chosen International Checker of the Year in 1964. National Checker of the Year in 1962. And this is Rose Salavino. Rose has 4 years' experience and works for Starbucks in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Rose was Checker of the Year in 1963. And here's another checker you should meet. Miss Jones is not a Checker of the Year, but she hopes to be someday. She's an intelligent, hard-working, charming young lady. Still a little new to her job, but learning fast. Like most of us, she could learn a lot.
First thing I do when I start the day is get my cash from the head checker. In a busy week, $5,000 or more may pass through my register. Handling it accurately is one of my biggest responsibilities. Leave the card empty. I always keep certain there are no missed items that might get through unchecked, and ring this up as a signal to myself that I checked the card. And most importantly, because as a matter of fact, no customer likes to be suspected of shoplifting. We have to These keys are important to the store's records and plenty orders for them if a bagger were working with them. After a solid base is made up with cans and other heavy items, I build up the sides with glass, putting glass and other fragile items in the center for protection. Meat, frozen foods, and ice cream should always be wrapped separately. Finally, light crushables go on top.
Knowing the fundamentals makes the job easier and helps you to do it better. But there's one area of checking where each girl brings something special to her job, where there are no universal guidelines. Personality is something every good checker develops on their own, checking some 7,000 separate items. You have to be good and develop good habits, such as maintaining space between unchecked items and those that have been checked. These girls are among the best. They take skill and practice to get this good. And a lot of effort. But the basics are simple. Slow down when the situation calls for extra care. Stop completely on those few occasions that require it. And keep the flow moving the rest of the time. Swiftly, accurately, and pleasantly. Remembering the fundamentals may make Miss Jones the Checker of the Year one day. It might be the same for you. This battle is won on the front line. It's here that the customer has her last important contact with the store. To a large extent, a checker's actions determine whether a shopper will be back. It's a difficult job at times, but learning the skills we've seen demonstrated will help assure that it's done right and will make your task much easier. In your store, you are a vital member of the team. By always observing the fundamentals, you'll be doing your part on the front line.
Jack has a shopping list of what they've decided to buy. Soup, fruit juice, meat, vegetables, fruit, milk, butter, eggs, and bread. Jack is going to take care of the shopping basket for his mother. Betty sees a little basket just her size. She decides to do some shopping of her own. This big store keeps each kind of food in a different department. This is the canned foods department. 3 cans of string beans are first to go into the basket. Many kinds of foods are put up in cans to keep them from spoiling. Vegetables, fruits, milk, meat, and fish, to name only a few. Soup is the next thing the Nelsons want to buy. Jack chooses 2 cans of tomato soup and 2 cans of vegetable. They are his favorite soups. This is one of the boys who works in the food store. He stamps the prices on the cans and puts them on the shelves. Others, in a room behind the store, are doing work like weighing out bags of onions. They wrap ears of corn in plastic, which they seal on a hot plate. Foods for the store to sell are delivered every day by big trucks. The boxes go to an upstairs storeroom until they're needed. It takes many people to run a food store. Jack asks where the fruit juice is kept. The meat department is the next stop. In this store, the meat is already cut and put out in counters. The meat is wrapped in clear plastic so that shoppers can see what they're buying. Chickens are wrapped in clear plastic too, and is next. Mr. Donalds is in charge of this department. He gets fresh fruits and vegetables every day. He puts them out so that people can see them. Each kind is in a separate place. Mrs. Nelson wants some apples, and Mr. Donalds is ready to help. Jack wants some strawberries, but Mrs. Nelson thinks they're too expensive today. Mrs. Nelson chooses some nice apples, and Mr. Donalds weighs them for her. He writes the price on a slip of paper and attaches it to the bag. Mrs. Nelson will pay the cashier later. Betty has found one of her favorite vegetables, a bag of carrots. She still thinks she's going to surprise her mother. Now the frozen foods are next. There are many, many kinds. Many of the frozen foods are already cooked and need only to be heated to be ready to eat. Betty loves to look at the frozen foods. There's frozen fish, frozen meats, and even frozen turkeys ready for roasting. There are many kinds of frozen vegetables. Mrs. Nelson buys 2 packages of frozen peas. There are several cashiers, but all are busy just now. The Nelsons will have to wait in line for a few minutes. Many people in the neighborhood buy food here. Each buys the kind of food the family needs and enjoys. Now it's Mrs. Nelson's turn. She puts the foods she's bought on the counter, and the cashier checks them one by one. The cash register shows what each one costs. And now it's Betty's time to surprise her mother. Everyone thinks Betty has played a good joke on her mother. She's done a fine job of shopping. So Betty's things are checked off too. The cash register tells how much Mrs. Nelson must pay. She's paying for Betty's things too. The cashier gives Mrs. Nelson her change. Then she puts the food into large bags. Mrs. Nelson and Jack will carry them to their car. It hasn't taken the Nelsons long to do their shopping, but Chipper is very glad that they're back. When they get home, Mrs. Nelson will prepare the foods they have bought into meals for her family.